ask you this with that. Do you actually think it might be that you won't die at all, or just, you're looking to extend your lifestyle or lifetime beyond what now we consider possible?
Yeah, I think it's legitimately the first time any human in history could say with a straight face, we may be the first generation to not die. I sincerely believe that. It's almost like if you think back to history, like in 1870, if you were alive at that time, you thought that infection came about through bad spirits. But there were new ideas that are kind of crazy where people said there are these microscopic objects that cause infection. They're called bacteria. And when you don't wash your hands between surgeries, when you're delivering babies, it spreads and can lead to death. Now, if you're living at the time, you might say, that's stupid and crazy. You're telling me things my eyes can't see are going to be the cause of death. But if you're open-minded, you might say, I don't want to, if this is real, I don't want to be on the other side of that. And so I think the same moment is true for us, this is legitimately a transformational moment as a species. We may be the first generation who won't die.
You've gotten all sorts of criticism for having money and, going and having gene therapy in Honduras that the average person could never afford. My view is good for you. If you're willing to make yourself a human guinea pig in a way that could save lives down the line or extend lives, why wouldn't we be celebrating that? You're not saying everybody must do it. You're not saying I recommend it for all of you. You're saying this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm doing it. And I'll share with all of you the results I get, which I think is actually pretty laudable. I mean, has the feedback been mostly good or 50-50 on controversial and good?
Yeah, it's been overwhelmingly positive. And like all things, you find negative voices really get a lot of airtime. And so what they don't talk about is, I think this is what I've built. So I quantitatively have the best biomarkers of anybody on planet Earth. I'm quantitatively the healthiest person alive. Now, I've posted all my data publicly and said, others, show me your data. And so I've really tried to create a new sport out of this. Now, in doing so, I've shared with the entire world everything I do, things that work, things that don't work, but everything is for free. I haven't put this behind a paywall. I haven't asked people to pay me subscriptions. I've made this for free. And I spend a majority of my time producing content, writing, helping people learn these free basic things. So it really is an effort to try to help everyone be healthy and well. But the criticism is just very natural. I wrote the other day, there are like 5 stages of understanding don't die. And first is like this, I wish you'd get hit by a bus. It's like, it's so algorithmic. Like whenever I walk into a new category of people and they haven't seen me before, their responses are just like an algorithm, like just absolutely expected.
Yes. All right. So here's a little bit more from the documentary on some of your routines in this soundbite. You're discussing them with your communications director, Kate Tolo.
But I think what Bryan is trying to do as the first prototype for Blueprint is do the absolute extreme thing.
I absolutely acknowledge that not everyone has the time and the resources and the life circumstances that can do it. I'm trying to be on the absolute outermost edge of possibility for the science. I'm trying to show what's possible. It's probably over 100 different things I do any given day that the body has asked for to be in its ideal state. And that begins with, in the morning I wake up, I turn a specific light on in my bathroom that gives me sun-like exposure. I take 3 pills. I do my body temperature with an inner ear measurement. Go downstairs, start HRV therapy. So I put a little electrode here in my ear and it stimulates my autonomic nervous system, trying to make my body more parasympathetic and more chill. I take 54 pills with a concoction that I call the Green Giant. I put a cap on my head for hair growth that has 312 laser diodes. Then I work out for an hour, come in, eat a few pounds of vegetables. I do some high-frequency electromagnetic stimulation on my abdomen. I do 12 minutes of near and red light therapy to accelerate healing. I do audio therapy for my hearing regeneration. I have my last meals to eat before 11 a.m., 34 more pills to take. There's protocols throughout the day here and there. And then my nighttime routine.
Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted just thinking about it. I'm sure you've been asked this question before, but where is the time for fun?
Yeah, so I guess I really find this to be fun. It is my happy place. I love this endeavor. I love playing this game. I love data. I love science. I love the experimentation. It's so much fun. And I guess it's been kind of interesting because a very common response is, he's so busy trying not to die, he's not living. And meanwhile, like when we think about the things we categorize as living, like going out and drinking with the friends or staying out late or eating pizza or donuts, those are oftentimes the things people imagine I just can't go without. And those things just make me miserable and not happy. I've never been happier in my entire life. So it's very counterintuitive that, health is happiness. Most people think that debauchery is happiness, but we all know it's not.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. Okay, so can we talk about some of those protocols? Some of them are a little bit more mainstream. I mean, I have a red light that I use and I love it. I think it's really made a nice difference on my skin. I have an infrared sauna, which does the same thing for your body, the lights that are in the infrared sauna. I'm not familiar with the HRV therapy with the light exposure that you do for your eyes first thing in the morning. Is that because you wake up pre-sunrise, and what does that do?
That's right. Yeah. So it really helps. Light in the eyes, within 20 to 30 minutes of waking up is really important. It sets your mood. It sets your circadian rhythm. It improves your mood. So if you wake up with the sun, early morning sunlight is fantastic. If you wake up before the sun, that 10,000 lux light really helps set your health regimen. So like you played in that clip, the idea is not that people do what I do. It's that they can draw out the basics of what I do and then make it a habit into their life. And so really, you can achieve very similar health markers as me and do very little of what I actually do.
Can you just turn on a light? Like, what about just turning on the bedroom light?
It doesn't, the bedroom light won't work. You need a specific kind of light to have the effects on triggering the circadian rhythm.
Okay. Why is your last meal of the day at 11 a.m.?
Because this is actually, it's really about my resting heart rate before bed. And so what I discovered over the past 4 years is the single most important thing for my health is my sleep. It's like nothing is even remotely close. And so I have built my entire life around sleep, which is counterintuitive because our current culture is you sleep when you have time, you sleep when you're done with work, you sleep when you're done. And many people actually brag by not getting sleep. They'll say, I sleep under my desk, or the person coded for 3 nights in a row. They're so impressive. So it's almost like this mythology that if you don't sleep, you're somehow have higher status. And so it's the reality is, our body needs sleep, and otherwise we just don't function well. We're impaired, like if you're drunk. And so the biggest predictor, the strongest predictor of your night's sleep is your resting heart rate before you go to bed. And so the way you do this is tonight before you go to bed, if you have a wearable, just pull up and see what your heart rate is. It may be 60 beats per minute, 65, 50. And then your goal over the next 2 weeks, I'll give you some tips, is to try to lower your resting heart rate by 10 to 15 beats. And as you do that, every beat you drop, your sleep quality is going to increase. So I eat my final meal of the day at 11 a.m. Because that gives my body time to digest. So when I go to bed at 8:30, the food is fully digested, and my body is now able to allocate its resources to say, now we're going to sleep. If I eat later, like 5 or 6, my heart rate is going to climb 10 to 15 beats, and my sleep will be reduced by about 30 to 40%.
All right, so this is like reminding me. Just a couple nights ago, I was dying for some ice cream. My kids had it. It's like I love ice cream, and it was getting pretty close to bedtime. I'm like, "Don't do it, Meg. Like you're so close to going to bed. You're going to spike your glucose." And I did it, Bryan. I did it, and you know what? It's the worst thing because it raises your glucose, it raises your heart rate. And you know what? I didn't sleep well, but I actually hadn't tied the two things together until just listening to you right now.
Exactly. So what was the ice cream?
It was mint chocolate chip.
Is that your favorite?
Well, it's one of them. Yeah, I do love it.
It was just like available in the freezer.
Yeah, exactly right. Yes. But I am the one who made it available. I bought it. It was organic.
Okay,
I'm sure that makes it healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So organic, actually, we can talk about that. Organic kind of means nothing in terms of I'll go into the food in a minute. But yeah, so in your experience, when you woke up the next morning, was it worth eating the ice cream?
No, it wasn't. We continue to face uncertainty when it comes to the economy, with a perfect storm brewing as Social Security and Medicare hit a breaking point as the largest generation is hitting retirement. A smaller workforce means a smaller tax base. You pair that with our growing national debt and rising cost of living, and we could have a big problem. So what are you doing now to protect your family for the future? Well, gold can be a safe haven in hard economic times, and Birch Gold makes it easy to diversify a portion of your savings into physical gold. Birch Gold will help you transition an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and it does not cost you 1 cent out of pocket. Protect your future today. Text MK to 989898 and get your free info kit on gold and a copy of the Ultimate Guide for Gold in the Trump Era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. There's no obligation, just information. Birch Gold has earned the trust of countless Americans looking to safeguard their savings. Just text my initials MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.